good.
If you can remember anything, I want you to remember this. Let your faith be bigger than your fears.
Yes, amen.
Am I the only one that fear stops?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the only one, she says. Well, praise God for you all. I'm glad you're so good. You can't make this stuff up. This is our church. Praise God. But how many knows fear's a big stumbling block? Fear's the big stop sign that stops us from doing what we need to accomplish. We need to learn to have faith.
Yes.
Going on. Luke 7:12. This is Jesus coming in with his disciples into this town. He approached the town gate. A dead person was being carried out, the only son of his mother. And she was a widow, and a large crowd from the town followed her. She was a widow. Now, when we hear the word widow, we think of it today in modern terms. You know, she don't have a husband, her husband died. That's the first thing we think of. Well, honey, I thank the Lord that society has evolved and changed, and women are in a different place now. How many women are thankful that we aren't living under how the rules were back then?
Yes, amen.
See, a widow back then couldn't own any property. No woman could. Did you know that? They couldn't own anything. And if she didn't have a son, a male heir to inherit the land, there was nothing for him to own. She was at the mercy of male relatives that could show her charity and kindness. Wow. We don't understand that. I'm so thankful that we live in a country and in today's society that we don't have to hope and pray that someone treats us right and shows us the kindness and so forth. Aren't you?
Yes, amen.
But this is what this lady was facing. See, back then there wasn't no will leaving her this land and stuff. There wasn't no big life insurance upon her husband's death where she could be taken care of. No, these things didn't exist.
Right.
He died, and she was put in a different place.
Right.
The Gentiles couldn't own land in Israel. Only a male could. And it had to be someone who was not an outsider. This where she was. She was an outsider. She was displaced. That's why it was so important to have a son, because you knew the family had the land and you were going to be taken care of. I think of this woman, her only son had passed, her husband's gone. There's only one word I could come up with it, how she must have felt when her son took his last breath. Hopeless.
That's, yes, yes.
Hopeless.
True.
Now, my takeaway, and this is my personal takeaway, because of how this story evolves, I believe this lady loved God with all her heart. I believe she had a close relationship with him. And as her son took his last breath, she said, I'm casting all my cares on you, God.
Yes.
I don't know the situation. I don't know the outcome, but I'm casting all my cares on you today.
Praise God.
You'll take care of me, Lord. I don't got to worry about it. I got you. Amen.
Yes.
Has any of us ever been there where you have felt hopeless, but you said, wait, I got God.
Oh, yes.
I don't have to be hopeless.
Yes.
I believe she went and read her Bible. I believe she held on to some scriptures. Now, the New Testament wasn't written yet, but I believe this testament sums up her feelings. Hebrews 12:12. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer.
Wow. Amen. Amen.
I believe she went and prayed. I believe she was seeking God, going, this is a dire situation for me, but I'm God, Jehovah Jireh, the God who provides.
Amen. Yes.
I believe she did.
Yes.
Going on, Luke 7:13. And when the Lord saw her, he had compassion on her and said unto her, weep not. When the Lord saw her. When the Lord saw her. Did you hear those words?
Yes.
The Lord's watching, the Lord's knowing, and what you're going through, He sees you.
Amen.
He sees you.
Thank you.
The Lord saw her.
Praise God.
I'm here to tell you the Lord